Hi guys, this is mynokiablog.com with Steve the smartphone noob. It's been 3 weeks since he's had the Nokia Lumia 800 and we've got some questions to see how he's gotten along with the Lumia 800. So Steve, first on our list, how has the keyboard been?
Keyboard, I've used it a lot. I'm forever texting on it, but no, it's been good so far. I like that it's able to use it on the side because I have quite large thumbs, and it does make things a lot faster if I can use both of them at the same time.
How is it in portrait mode? When you're just
Portrait's good when I'm walking along. I do just use it with one,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm more often I hit the wrong key. But the autocorrect is very good on it, so it's usually not a problem.
So if you hit the wrong key, you just correct it to...
Yeah, I don't even notice half the time.
Okay, okay, what about the web browser? How are you finding that?
Yeah, the original one was very fast. Used it quite a lot. I mean, obviously it's based on how fast the internet connection is. But since then, Jay showed me a different one called Surfcube, which I've been using. It's a little bit slower to load, but once it has loaded, I find it to be much bit more fun, really, just because you've got all different sides of a cube effectively. You've got tabs on one side, main screen, favourites on there. So I just prefer it. It's a bit more user friendly, as it were.
Next up, on the calendar, how have you found that?
I use it all the time, to be honest. It's very, very helpful just to be able to have that with you everywhere. I've got multiple calendars synced with it, as well as just things I've put in. Yeah, I'm forever using that.
Next up, Office.
Office, I haven't really used it much. The only thing I've used is OneNote for just jotting down notes as I'm going along, just to use for later, but that's about it really. I haven't had much of a play with Word.
Okay.
When I synced it, I got all my work from Windows Live downloaded straight away, but again,
awesome.
I haven't really looked into
So
it.
that's like all the stuff in PBL notes that's come up?
Yeah, all my notes from uni are in there ready to go. I just haven't really used them that much.
Next up, I heard you've been using the Bluetooth headset with that phone, voice and stuff.
Yeah, I often have relatively long phone calls, so I have a Bluetooth headset that I use quite often with it, and that was very easy to set up. It was just a case of turn Bluetooth on and connect them very, very quickly. But I kind of stumbled across something else that it's useful for, just because I had left it on in my ear after I'd finished a phone call.
Okay.
And when I get a text, it will read it to me, let me respond and send it without ever having to touch the phone. So
nice.
I don't have to touch the headset or anything. I just literally talk to it and can compose the text.
And that's just been working fine?
Yeah, straight away, no setting up or anything. It just sort of happened, and I didn't really know it could until I stumbled across it, as I said.
Nice. Next up, I've got music. How's that been?
Music, yeah, again, I use that a lot. It's replaced my iPod because the battery life on my iPod was beginning to decline because I've had it for a few years. But this has been no problem at all. Syncing it was very easy. And yeah, just drag and drop on the Zune software. And everything's on here ready to go. So I've been using that wherever I am, really.
How have you found the tiles, using tiles?
I haven't really had much experience with them before. I like the concept of it, and that things are forever changing depending on what I'm using them for, and the fact that everything can be moved around to suit whatever I'm using it for, and whatever I'm using most can be at the top. One thing I would say is maybe the tiles could be a little bit smaller, just so you can get more on a page, because there's only 7 things I can click on without having to scroll up or down or go through all my applications. But other than that, it's good. I like the fact that there's only 2 base screens or home screens, because I've seen on previous phones they can have 5 or even 7, and it just becomes a bit of a chore having to scroll through them all to find what you're looking for.
How is it finding apps on that?
Well, they're all organised alphabetically, so as long as you know what they're called, it's no problem at all. And using the voice command software, you can bring one up instantly if you know what it's called again.
Leading on to that, how has finding new apps been?
New apps has been pretty easy. I mean, I've been mainly sticking to free apps and things that people have recommended to me. But I've downloaded lots and I'm finding them really good.
I've noticed that you sometimes delete apps, so you've managed to work that out pretty quickly then.
Yeah. I've found actually that the phone itself, the software is very easy to use and pretty quick to get in tune with, because once you learn the basic commands, they all are very transferable throughout all the different menus. So, for instance, long press almost indefinitely will bring up a list of options, or if it's on the home screen, just moving around tiles. So it's
Quite consistent.
Easy. Yeah.
Next up, the display. What do you think of that? 3.7-inch AMOLED clear black display. You probably don't know what any of that means, but just ignore that. What do you think of it in general?
I like it. No, it is definitely one of the best things about the phone. It's incredibly responsive and always very clear, whatever the time of day. You never get any glare or anything.
So even outdoors, what's it like in the sun?
I haven't had a problem with it. I mean, up here in the north, it's not always that sunny, but it's I haven't had a problem with it at all. And the only thing I've noticed is it sometimes gets a bit greasy off my fingers, but
yeah,
that's the same with every screen, I imagine. Next
up, it's the sound on the speakers.
Why are you laughing?
Because Emily's upstairs. Running around complaining about the heating or something. Anyway, carry on.
Back to the sounds. Yeah, it's very good. I was using speakerphone earlier today actually, and unlike previous phones where you've still had to hold the phone somewhere near your mouth, this was quite happy, sat on the table next to me, just be on speakerphone as normal. It was.
Do you play music at all through the loudspeakers? No,
not
just
really.
mostly
It's usually headphones, or if I'm in my room, I'll have it through the sound system. I don't tend to use it for music.
What do you mean sound system?
I just either have it coming out of my laptop or through a hi-fi that I have connected to.
Okay. Next up, Maps and Drive. Do you use that at all?
I've used Maps a fair bit. Usually
really?
just when I don't know where I am or don't know where I'm going, rather than having to look on the computer before I go and just set it to where I'm going and look at the rough direction.
So which one was that? Was that Maps or Drive?
That was Maps I tend to use just because I'm usually on foot. I've used Drive once or twice when I've been in the car with someone else driving. And how's that worked? As you can see, it's very quick to load where I am. It knows exactly where we are, and it's already loaded the maps around us, so it's very, very quick, and the pinch to zoom is very easy to use.
How did Drive work? Was that okay?
Yeah, Drive was fine. As I said in the previous video, it loads and locates us very, very quickly. And yeah, straight away had the navigation sorted.
Next up, I think that might be it for now.
Okay.
So thanks, Steve, our smartphone noob. We might get back to him after Christmas and see how he's still getting along with the Nokia Lumia 800. Oh, just a quickie. He bought that case from Carphone Warehouse. It's been it's been pretty good up until recently, when he broke it. Tell us how it broke, Steve.
Well, yeah, as Jay said, it has been very good, kept the phone in very good condition, until the other day when I managed to break one of the little plastic tabs that keeps the phone in place. I think this might be due to the fact that I'm forever taking the phone in and out, just because usually people say whenever anyone asks I take it out to show them, just because it looks so much nicer without the case. But
so showing off the Lumia 800, you end up breaking the case.
It could have lasted a bit longer, if I'm honest. I'll have a go at repairing it later and see if I can bodge it with a bit of glue.
So there you go, Carphone Warehouse, to sort out your cases.
But
Anyway, thanks again to Steve, our smartphone noob.
Thank you.
Okay, bye. Hey guys, I forgot to ask Steve the battery life. How was the battery life on your Lumia 800?
Normally I find it lasts about a day and a half just using it if and when. If I'm using it excessively, I can get it down to probably 6-7 hours, but that
constant use.
Yeah, that is when I'm using Maps, music, Drive, all big applications, often several at a time. So on average, more than a day.
More than a day. Okay. Thanks. Bye, Steve.
Bye.
Hey guys.
Amateur. Do you want to restart?